Hello, today we are going to talk about a very common ecosystem, the urban garden ecosystem. First, we will talk about the biotic and abiotic factors of the garden ecosystem. The biotic factors include all living organisms in this garden. We can see plants such as grass, shrubs, flowers, and small trees. We can also find organisms like insects, ants, butterflies, and birds that are in the area. Here we can see ants. There we can see another insect. Here we can see another example of an insect in the water. All these living things interact with each other and depend on one another. Abiotic factors are non-living components. Here we can observe sunlight, soil, water, air, and temperature. These factors directly influence the growth of plants and the presence of animals in this ecosystem. Another important factor in this ecosystem is the way energy flows through it. In any ecosystem, energy always starts with the sun. Plants use sunlight to perform photosynthesis, producing the energy they need to grow. These plants become the primary source of energy for many organisms, such as insects and small plants, animals. Even in a small garden like this one, energy is constantly moving from one organism to another. When insects feed on leaves or nectar, they receive the energy stored by the plants. If a bird or another animal feeds on those insects, the energy continues moving through the food chain. This energy flow is what keeps the ecosystem functioning, and even though this garden may seem like simple, it follows the same rules as a natural ecosystem.
Now we will talk about a biochemical cycle, and in this case we will explain the water cycle. In the garden ecosystem, the water cycle happens all the time. When it rains, water falls onto the soil and infiltrates, staying in the ground. Plants absorb this water through the roots to grow. Then, because of the sun's heat, part of the water evaporates and rises into the atmosphere. Eventually, water vapors from clouds and falls again as rain, repeating the cycle. This process is essential to keep the ecosystem hydrated and allow to plants and animals to survive.
The urban garden ecosystem is created by people where it functions like a natural ecosystem. It contains plants that were planted on purpose and others that grew naturally, like small weeds or wildflowers. The amount of sunlight, the type of soil, watering habits, and the climate all affect how this ecosystem works. Even though it is a small area, there are simple food chains and interactions between organisms that help maintain balance.
In this ecosystem, we can find different species. Among the plants, we can observe grass, bushes, flowers, and leaves. These plant species provide food and shelter for other living organisms.
We can also find animals and small insects such as ants, butterflies, bees, and birds. Even if they are small, all of them have an important role in the ecosystem, such as pollinating, decomposing matter, or serving as food for other animals. Each species contributes to maintaining the balance of the garden ecosystem.
Another key characteristic of this ecosystem is how the physical environment affects the organisms that live here. For example, the type of soil determines which plants can grow successfully. Some soils retain more water while others drain very quickly. This changes the kinds of species that are able to survive. Temperature is also extremely important. During the day, the garden receives sunlight that helps plants produce energy, but at night the temperature drops, which influences how insects and animals behave. Many organisms become more active at night to avoid the heat, while others depend on daylight to find food. Moisture is another factor that shapes the ecosystem. When the soil is too dry, plants may struggle to grow, but when it holds enough water, it supports a wider variety of species. All this small change create microhabitats inside the garden, allowing different organisms to live in different parts of the same space.
This was our video about the urban garden ecosystem. We explained its biotic and abiotic factors, a biochemical cycle, its general description, and the species that live on it. Thank you for watching.